was the biggest thing. I was like 8, 10 years old. Everybody loved him. He was a very charismatic figure, and he was a stand-up guy. His word was his bond. That's old BS.
He did. Who was Harry Carter?
Means nothing.
Um,
In Buddy's case, he
that's
told
who I
people to
am.
do something.
No, I'm not Muslim.
He was tough as nails. Buddy McLean was the toughest
Let's
street
see.
fighter in Somerville. A real
Look,
brawler.
Sarah Rose too.
People would hear that he was tough, and they'd come looking for him. It would be a bar fight. They'd come in and like, you don't look that tough, because he's a baby face. I mean, he looked a little like me. You know,
Mm-mm. I survived. Some don't. I know how old I am.
he could fight. Howie says he's beating
And I'm
the
looking
guy,
pretty.
drag him away. I'm going, why is he so hot dragging him away? But he still got the other guy beating him.
No, Jimmy B in an airtight casket with ice cream.
He really was.
That was his rapping ass brother rolled past me. That's why he sat there.
You know, anyone has
Broke motherfucker driver.
but I don't care. He would always come down and try to straighten it out. You know, he's very diplomatic about it. I knew Howie since I was a kid. He was just a very humble guy. We all knew what he was and who he was. Howie tried to portray himself in a slightly more amiable manner, but he was a really, really tough guy. I liked Howie Winter, but if you crossed Howie,
No, you didn't like no goddamn Harry Winter and shit, bitch.
the Winter Hill Gang didn't get its name from Howie Winter. It came from the neighborhood in Somerville where they all lived. And just a mile or so down the road in
Dude,
Charlestown,
mechanical rat in here chair
was a
shit.
more well-established and much
Bitch.
more dangerous
I
hood.
couldn't shit.
Charlestown is
Just kind of like people were leaving. Proper
right
related.
next door to each other, and so there was obviously going to be some kind of rivalry between people that come out of there. The McLaughlins were the most treacherous gang in America, probably at the time, in the early '60s. Terry Moore would call them to New York because it's easy to have an Irish guy killed with a tie-in or whatever, and people feared him around here. The McLaughlins came from a big Irish family. 2 of the brothers were killed in World War II. There were 3 brothers left. One of them was Punchy. Punchy was a brawler, a prize fighter. He was a strong-arm guy. And then there was Bernie. He was kind of like the brains of the organization. And the 3rd brother was Georgie McLaughlin. He was the youngest one, and he was a psychopath. He had a bad drinking problem, and when he drank, he was
That's what you said the judge happened.
wherever they went, you know, they just beat you up. Punchy McLaughlin.
His dad is the one with the Jack Daniel tattoo on his arm. That daddy dead. Shit.
They were just kill at will. Killers that you did not want to cross. And if you did, there would be serious consequences. Well, the gang war started.
He retarded.
I know. In
You embarrassed everywhere.
In 1961, up in Salisbury Beach.
I know how it ain't.
They were all partying, and everybody from Somerville and Charlestown was up for the weekend. And there were a couple of guys, bar owners, legit guys.
You seen the movie and now you try out.
At the time, Winter Hill and the Charlestown guys were friendly and hanging out and drinking.
You know, they really
You know,
came
unfortunately,
at that one year.
one thing led to another. 2 guys that were neighborhood guys were at a party with George
It
McLaughlin.
was just let me know they was in the city.
George McLaughlin was drunk. Georgie McLaughlin, he started wrapping the breasts of one of the wives. And the guy said, "Hey, Georgie, that's my wife. You can't do that." And he goes, "What are you doing, Georgie?" And they exchanged words and said, "You're out of line." So Georgie hit him with a glass. So one of the other Somerville guys came to the defense of his friend and his friend's wife, and Georgie hit him with another glass. And so these guys are angry at this point, and so they beat the crap out of him. It's bad. They thought that they may have killed him, and when they put him in the trunk of a car, he was still breathing. So now they have a dilemma on their hands. So they drove to the nearest hospital. Threw him out on the lawn at a hospital. Didn't know if he was going to live. Just that one little spot. set off that powder keg, and it didn't have to happen. Georgie McLaughlin survived, but if his feeding was a powder keg, what happened next was an atomic bomb.
Go to goddamn Boston. Shit. If I got to go to Boston,
When their gutters are clogged and they notice
I need 6 pistols and my bulletproof vest.
has seeped into the interior walls, or maybe they've spotted mold in the attic. But most often, it's the more obvious signs of damage, like rotten soffit or water pooling near the foundation. You can get ahead of costly damage by protecting your home's gutters today. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help.
Schedule a free gutter inspection today. Call 833-LEAK FILTER or visit leakfilter.com.
Our biggest challenge? Uncertainty. Hidden fees, surcharges, who knows what to expect. Turn shipping to your advantage.
This is starting.
Clear upfront pricing.
With USPS Ground Advantage.
What about that?
My name is Braden.
You got mine.
I
We're
was
fishing.
5 years old when I came to St. Jude. I'll try and shorten down the story. So I've been having these headaches that wouldn't go away. My mom, she was just crying. What they said, their son had brain cancer.
It was your worst fear coming to life.
Watching your child grow up is the dream of every parent. You can join the battle to save the lives of kids like Braden by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Families that will receive a bill from the St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, so they can focus on helping their child live. What they have done for me, my son, my family. Sorry, kid. Life is a gift, especially for a child now.
I'd rather be judged by 12 than hated by 6.
Save the lives of children like Braden.
Now I'm 11 years old. We were actually doing a checkup for my brain, and they saw something in my throat. It's thyroid cancer.
It was heartbreaking to find out that he has cancer again, but we knew who we had behind us. It just gives me hope.
You can make a difference. Pay with your credit or debit card for $8 a month, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt.
And then Kevin got their own thing.
St. Jude or its donors,
But
we would have been in a bad place.
These kids, they've done nothing
I saw
wrong
it.
in the world. I mean,
but
they're
just
patrolling
knocking towards the mama to let you know I'm out of jail shit.
Help St. Jude give kids with cancer a chance.
Gotta bite him again.
I'm Jimmy Dean.
I don't get that.
One thing can make a morning like this any nicer. A hearty, hefty, good tasting breakfast. Eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, potatoes. And when you finish, you know you had something to eat.
When you do this as early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has a 30-gram blend of high-quality protein to feed muscles for up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure nutrition for strength and energy.
When is my allergies kicking if you can?
You need Astapro.
Astapro?
It's faster, bro. 8 times faster than Flonase.
It's faster, bro.
Faster, bro.
It's mom.
Astapro starts working in 30 minutes. Astapro and go.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and espresso beans and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and a whole lot more.com was already paid. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com. This week only, large 2-topping pizzas at Domino's are just $6.99 each when you carry out, like melted pepperoni and green peppers, or ham and tangy pineapple. The combinations are pretty endless. Act fast and get your favorite large 2-topping pizza for just $6.99 each this week only at Domino's.
Meet the Jennifers. Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Each planning their future through the Chase mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in Portugal with some help from JP Morgan Wealth Plan. Let's go, Whiskers. Gen Y is working with a banker to budget for her birthday. You only turn 30 once. And Gen Z, for credit, golden. Hello, new apartment. 3 gens getting ahead with Chase. Solutions that grow with you. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Expect the extras from the experts. Even sober? Is that easy? You always get something extra with On Patrol First Shift. Right before On Patrol.
My son and my belly told.
Saturday night, only on
told the motherfucker to suck his goddamn dick before he come out of his mama's truck.
It was 1961 in Salisbury Beach, Massachusetts.
You got a Massachusetts?
After a drunk Georgie McLaughlin got fresh with the wife of a Winter Hill guy, Georgie took such a bad beating, they left him for dead in front of a nearby hospital.
And the Salvos also.
McLaughlin would survive, but his brother went straight to Winter Hill.
The nightmare that I'm having is leaving them by themselves.
The brother goes to Buddy McLean and says, "Buddy, we want those two guys dead." He goes, "For what? Your brother grabbed the guy's wife's tits. Why would you want him dead?" "Well, we want him dead, or something's gonna happen." And he said, "Okay, I'll give him a beating.
By Martini, I'm saying that some bitch.
I'll give him a beating, but that's all I'm gonna do." That wasn't good enough.
I don't know this motherfucker. I think it was on Paris Ride and shit.
Well, a day later, the dogs barked at the side street up over the hill where they lived on Snow Terrace. And Buddy's wife, Jean, she goes, "Buddy, what's He sees that Bernie McLaughlin has got the foot of the
See, I'm not going to Ohio ain't bar for the motherfucker. Yeah, I already own Illinois. My ass hurts. Popcorn was like, "How you know my name, huh?"
Going down the street and shooting at him. Now he knows it's serious because they're serious people. You don't play with serious
I don't be out there sleep with you and throwing rocks at the window and shit.
people. Street comes over with Buddy. There's wires under there. Buddy McLean.
When my daughter should get in front from jumping out the motherfucker, so he window and shit.
He flips up.
I hung the motherfucker out there
Now he's gonna go get him.
out the window and shit.
This is City Square in Charlestown, which is the northern part of the city of Boston. It was Halloween back in 1961. It was like a totally Irish, totally rundown, totally working class area. It was lined with all these bars. The police station was right over there, so there were plenty of cops around. There were lawyers at the courthouse. But Buddy didn't care. The head of the McLaughlin gang had just tried to put dynamite in his car, and he just knows what he's got to do. He knows where Bernie McLaughlin is every day at noon. He's here in City Square, collected his Skylock, and that's the long short of it. What Buddy does is he has one of his guys, Bobo Petricone, drive up the car right there. Buddy jumps out of the car, crosses the street.
I would not till I get to ride the cousin.
Goes up behind Bernie McLaughlin and shoots Bernie right in the back of the head. Bernie McLaughlin, probably the most powerful Irish gangster in Boston, falls dead in the gutter. Buddy goes back into the car with Bobo Petricone driving. They turn right and they go back into Somerville. So bold, Bobo Petricone's driving his own car. This isn't a boiler with stolen license plates.
This is like Paying in Full.
Right behind the Capitol.
I mean,
And then go in
they roll.
And when the cops arrive, they go in.
You do it anymore. It's not my fault. This dumb motherfucker.
But they have to patch him. And they drive
So,
back to
the
Charleston,
motherfucker was buried.
charged with
You
murder.
get no bird right there.
There were hundreds and hundreds of witnesses. But you know, the Charlestown back in the 60s, people didn't know anything for obvious reasons. It was dangerous. Nobody saw nothing.
The dad's no
That
fine.
was it. The
That's
first
the way.
hit in the Irish gang war.
Don't get them motherfucker for failure.
Buddy McLean and Bobo Petricone may have beaten the rap,
Yes.
but they just started an all-out gang war with the deadly McLaughlin.
The McLaughlins, they were a muscle in Boston. I mean, they probably had 300, 400, 500 guys. And nobody would want to go to war with them. They would just
About to
have
strangle you
to-
dead. You on TV and everything.
Buddy stayed
You
here.
gotta be up there. You got fucked up and shit.
It wasn't him. You know, he was autistic, and he wanted to.
It's not that anymore.
Bobo decides this ain't for me. So
I mean, you committed dogs up there because it was asking me.
Bobo's son is a
But,
dear friend of mine.
what I was doing,
So
this
Bobo
coyote
was
ugly.
Another little-known guy who lived on
He
Park
retired.
Ave. And that guy's name is Bobby Pickett. Do you know the name?
I know the name, but
The Monster Mash.
Uh-huh.
Bobo was going to be.
Then my dad saying like,
They
you
drive
that's
cross
how it
country to California because Buddy said,
You got one.
I'm not, leave. They go out there, changes his name, Alex Rocco. Alex played Mo Green in The Godfather.
So Lee, I'm in labor right the fuck now.
And he was the star of a sitcom. I think it was The Fabulous Teddy Z. And he was also in The Friends of Eddie Coyle and big parts in other movies and television shows.
Buddy told Howie, he said, you ought to get out of town too. This is my problem and I'll have to deal with it.
Huh?
But no, Howie said, we'll stick around. Howie Winter stood by Buddy's side. But he wasn't the only one on Winter Hill who had McLean's back.
My father, Buddy, was his hero.
You hear that outside with the
Every day
fish?
I want to be walking down the street, and my father walked beside me. My father was a rough guy, and he was like me. Rough. And Buddy goes, "You
I was calling about my mom. Man.
What are you doing? They're hunting me, not you." He goes, "Dad, I'm with you."
The Winter Hill gang ramped up for the fight.
And that meant putting mattresses in different rooms, in different houses. That meant loading up cars with guns all over the place. So if something happened, they go right to the car and they go take care of business.
They had to start sleeping in a different place every night. Howie had a new coat made for him so that he could keep a revolver in it and he could actually shoot like a movie.
It's like war. This group is going to kill you. Kill or be killed. That's exactly what happened back in those days.
You couldn't be a creature of habit. Every day you had to vary your schedule because the people who got hit were the ones who got caught flat-footed. Everybody's life changed, and the bodies just started piling up. Piling up.
Brought to you by OxyClean. It's not clean unless it's OxyClean.
Looks like laundry day is today. No. Hey, no.
OxyClean Max Force Spray. Spray now and wash up to 7 days later.
We're still cool? I love you.
Stem Light Trap attracts and traps flying insects 24/7. And Stem Light Trap is people and pet friendly because it's free of chemical insecticides. So no matter what the day cooks up for you, you're never bugged. Stem Light Trap.
Why do couples choose a sleep number smart bed?
I need help with their snoring.
Sleep number does that.
Thank you.
During our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed and free delivery when you add any base.
Life, diabetes, there's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with carb steady. Glucerna, bring on the day.
Everywhere but Steven's left. Oh, you're kidding. Love your bike. Me too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. It's reminded me of my bike. The wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank.
Hey!
Promo +1.
Hey, do you think you have what it takes to make like it never even happened happen? Like this? Like that? Woo! Then you belong at the #1 brand in property restoration. Join ServPro and experience great pay. Career advancement from entry level to management and even ownership. Here you go, boss. And access to the best training available. Oh, I'm sorry. Got what it takes? Visit servpro.com/careers to apply today.
Trying on glasses using Warby Parker's virtual try-on is so lifelike, so realistic, that you might not even be able to tell what's real from what's virtual. Yep, it's that good. Virtually try on hundreds of styles at warbyparker.com. It was one thing when my mom got Alzheimer's, but then I started noticing things that seemed off. She developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes she'd fidget with her fingers, get suddenly overwhelmed, and even throw things. And that was just never her. So we asked her doctor what else we could do.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce agitation symptoms that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Rexulti can cause serious side effects, Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, increased cholesterol, low white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur.
Rexulti helped reduce my mom's symptoms.
Take action for your loved one. Ask their doctor about Rexulti.
What's considered normal for your cat is interesting. It's curious and it's sweet. But if your cat isn't their quirky self lately, they may have pain from a common condition called osteoarthritis. Now there's Silencia. Silencia is a once monthly injection. It works like your cat's naturally made antibodies to reduce pain signals. In a study, 77% of cat owners experienced an improvement in their cat's pain after 3 doses. Veterinary professionals administering Silencia who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection. Self-injection could cause allergic reactions like anaphylaxis. Ask your vet about Silencia and help get your cat back to their normal, whatever that is for them.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and only one thing could make a morning like this any nicer. A hearty, hefty, good-tasting breakfast. With eggs, bacon, sausage, cheese, potatoes. And when you finish, you know you had something to eat.
Hump Day just got a whole lot better. Wow, I didn't see that. Because there's no such thing as too much on Patrol Live.
Guys.
Catch On Patrol Live Encores every Wednesday night, only on Reels.
The streets of Boston in the 1960s were a battlefield. A disagreement between the McLaughlin brothers crew in Charlestown and the Winter Hill gang in Somerville had escalated into all-out war.
It was a pretty bloody battle back and forth.
Gang wars were amazingly brutal. People had their heads chopped off. People were killed by mistake. People were thrown into the harbor alive in fish tanks to drown. There were ambushes everywhere. We had a nickname for the obituaries, the Irish sports pages.
People took alliances according to loyalty. You can tell by the way I'm talking about the McLaughlins. They had loyal people, but they're all vicious animals.
But in a war, sometimes that's exactly what you need. And one of Buddy and Howie's strongest allies was a bank robber on the land, Joe McDonald.
Joe McDonald was a professional bank robber, and he robbed so many banks. He went to jail, and he escaped. And then that's when all the mob wars were starting. Joe was always in the background. He was on the FBI's most wanted list for years and years, and they couldn't find him. I don't know how many people he killed. But he says to me one day, he goes, you know, that Whitey Bulger is a coward. He uses a gun from far away. I walk right up to a guy. I put the gun in his face, and I blow his head off.
Speaking of Whitey, the man who would become one of Boston's most notorious gangsters was missing from this action.
Whitey Bulger was in prison during the whole gang war in the 60s. He didn't come around until later. I don't know if he would be dead. I guess it would all depend on whose side he was on and who he was running with at the time.
With Whitey safely tucked away in prison, the gang war ravaged Boston. Winter Hill's soldiers included Stephen the Rifleman Fleming, a sharpshooting Korean war vet, and his childhood friend from Roxbury, Cadillac Frank Salemi, who looked up to the Italian mafia, and professional hitman Joe the Animal Barboza. Bodies were dropping all over the city. And it wasn't just all people from Winter Hill or Charlestown. All the gangs started doing their own hits. Then settling scores. They would be blamed in the newspapers. But another hit in the Irish gang war. It had nothing to do with either of these gangs, but all the scores could be settled, and all the blame would go to the McLaughlins in Winter Hill. And that's why you ended up with 60 bodies before the war was over. It was just a real bloodbath. Before Howie Winter died at the age of 91, he talked to me about the bloody struggles in the 60s. For the first time ever, the man who ran Winter Hill goes on the record about his direct involvement in one of America's bloodiest gang wars.
And all the gang wars, we had a thing where one of our enemies was with his wife or girlfriend or an innocent party. We passed. We never wanted to hurt an innocent person. That was the rule that we lived by.
He explained what took Georgie McLaughlin off the street, and it had nothing to do with the gang war.
He goes to a christening, and there was this kid, I think he was a bank teller. They had words, and he takes out a gun and shoots him right in the head. That was a fatal mistake for him because they were all legitimate people there. And evidently, they called the law and they told him who did it. He went to trial and got life in the can.
Howie Winter even described in detail their multiple hit attempts on Punchy McLaughlin.
Punchy McLaughlin, we got a tip that he was in the Hotel Beaconsfield. We wait till we get out and get in the car. Pulled up alongside it, an empty shotgun, right point blank at him. We blew his jaw out, but he went to the best Israel and they saved his life there. That was the first time. Then the second time, he lived with a girl, I think in Randolph. One of them side roads, I picked out a spot where I had a 308 Winchester with a scope on it. It was Stevie Flemmy there with the machine gun, Buddy with the machine gun, and Frank Salimi with the machine gun. And I was laying out there with a 308 Winchester. Every day we were there waiting for him. Then when he came, I fired the first shot. Ran through his windshield, blew his hand off. He just laid over and floored it. And Buddy and Stevie and Frankie opened up with a machine gun. None of them even hit him. And then we jumped in our cars and started to go after him. But he goes down the wrong way on 128. So they wanted to chase him. I said, you guys nuts. We're not going down the wrong way of 128 chasing him.
When they all missed him in Weston, they all went out to the Baltimore Post and having drinks. And young McDonald's was a local cop, had a bunch of carrots there. And they all go, what's the carrots for? And he goes, well, none of you hit nothing. I think you need your eyes examined. Eat some more carrots.
Clearly, Punchy was not an easy man to kill, but the Winter Hill gang wasn't going to rest easy until the remaining McLaughlin brother was 6 feet under.
The third time, he's at a bus stop, and he's only got one hand. He's got a bag with a gun, and he's going to go into court to see his brother on the bus. And the guy walks up, and he tries to get the gun out of his one hand, and they kill him then.
11 days after Punchy McLaughlin was finally taken out, Buddy McLean was coming out of the 318 Club on Broadway on Winter Hill. He was shot multiple times and killed. His presence and leadership would be severely missed on Winter Hill.
When Buddy died, he had a picture of Buddy on the wall beside Kennedy. And he had that aura about him, you know. He was just one of the biggest men that you'd ever seen. All these are just 20-year-old kids. It's like going to war. And it was like going to war. Like a lot of families were ruined. Howie couldn't go near his wife. I was sent out to Wilmington to go to school for 2 weeks. And we didn't know why. But now I know why. Because they were in the middle of the gang war. Right. You know? And it caused this big, stupid scene. And a lot of people get killed.
Buddy McLean's death marked the beginning of the end of the gang war. and it was widely known that McLaughlin hitmen, brothers Stevie and Connie Hughes, were responsible.
We knew who it was. They were the only two guys left in that gang that were really active.
After clipping the beloved Buddy McLean, the Hughes brothers would not be long in this world. Where Connie Hughes, hitman for the McLaughlins, died in 1966. Gang war was pretty much over. The mafia had said it had to end. Winter Hill had won, even though Buddy McLean was dead. And Winter Hill went to everybody who was left if McLaughlin wasn't in prison or dead and said, look, you can either leave town or you're going to be eliminated. Everybody decided to screw, as they say, except for the Hughes brothers. So they had to be eliminated.
Did a call one night. This Connie used something, and after hours started drinking. So we got one of our hot cars, went and waited on him. And when he come out, he's in his car, we follow him. Got right alongside of him. The gun shot that killed him, and then he smashed into the wall there. He just kept on going.
They hit him so many times his car goes out of control, turns around, and is coming south in the northbound lane, right where we are right now. His brother Stevie identified him at the Northern Mortuary, and in September, another Winter Hill hit car caught up with Stevie Hughes.
Looked around, waited, didn't see him. So we head back. What do you think? We pulled up right behind. Stevie Hughes, the tower in front of us, pulled up alongside of him and emptied a rifle and into them, killed both of them.
The only two survivors were these two chihuahuas that had been riding in the backseat that hopped out of the broken windshields and were playing in the swamp grass. And how we went there always said,
the dogs, thank God. You had a couple of dogs with them. They did our lives.
The Hughes brothers' hits marked the end of the 60s gang war. But right around the same time, another storm was brewing in Boston. A local Southeast street thug named Whitey Bulger.
Can the flavor of a slow-cooked smoked sausage be so gloriously delicious that the sight of it sizzling makes your taste buds weep? For sure, it's Hillshire.
My name is Braden. I was 5 years old when I came to St. Jude. I'll try to shorten down the story. So, I've been having these headaches that wouldn't go away. My mom, she was just crying. What they said, their son had brain cancer.
It was your worst fear coming to life.
Watching your child grow up is the dream of every parent. You can join the battle to save the lives of kids like Braden by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Families that will receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, so they can focus on helping their child live. Please call or go online right now and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
St. Jude takes away my cancer. You can get through this.
What they have done for me, my son, my family. Sorry. Life is a gift, especially for a child battling cancer. Please call or go online and help save the lives of children like Braden.
You are. I love you.
Now I'm 11 years old. We were actually doing a checkup for my brain, and they saw something in my throat. It's thyroid cancer.
He was cancer-free for 5 years.
It was heartbreaking to find out that he has cancer again, but we knew who we had behind us. It just gives me hope. Without St. Jude or its donors, we would have been in a bad place. You can make a difference. Join with your credit or debit card for only $19 a month, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt you can proudly wear to show your support.
Passion makes me feel angry. Doesn't make me act like that, but whenever you think about it, it makes me like it not in the like feel on the outside, just the inside of me bad.
These kids, they've done nothing wrong in the world, and they end up having to go through all of this to survive. Finding a cure for childhood cancer, it means everything.
Help St. Jude give kids with cancer a chance. Please donate now.
Skincare can start in the laundry room. That's why I always recommend All Free Clear for sensitive skin. It's free of dyes and perfume. It's a key part of my self-care routine. It's a clean that's gentle on my skin. For an effective clean that's gentle on skin, all you need is All Free Clear. Nothing dims my light like a migraine. With Nurtec ODT, I found relief. The only migraine medication that helps treat and prevent all in one.
To those with migraine, I see you.
For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura and the preventive treatment of episodic migraine in adults. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects are nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
It's time we all shine. Talk to a healthcare provider about Nurtec ODT from 5.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy duty DNA. HDNA is engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. With the pulling power to prove it, toe inches of the world prepare for glory. Get 5.9% APR for 84 months on Sierra heavy duty Denali models. That's almost $7,000 in average finance savings.
Whitey Bulger's career as a criminal started early. He would eventually become known as a guy who managed to avoid getting locked up. But in 1956, he was thrown in the slammer for a series of armed bank robberies in multiple states. Whitey went away for 9 years and finally got out of prison in 1965. But before he regained his freedom, he toured some of the U.S. penal system's most notorious joints, including Leavenworth and The Rock.
He served in Alcatraz. Obviously, it's a big name to come from, and kind of cemented his reputation as being like a tough guy, you know.
Well, why did he get out of Alcatraz? Of course he had street cred, especially at Southie.
He became part of the clean gang in South Boston,
Which is a group of bookmakers led by Donald Killeen.
Donald Killeen was a businessman. He wasn't a particularly violent guy. That's why he needed a guy like Whitey Bulger as his muscle. And he also brought in a guy named Billy O'Sullivan, who was another kind of street thug.
the main rival to the Colleens would be the Mullins gang.
There were a group of guys from Southie that included Pat Mee, Polly McGonigal, and also Tommy King.
But there wasn't anyone in the crew named Mullen. The name actually came from the corner where they hung out in Southie.
There's plaques on a lot of the corners of South Boston that commemorate someone who died in World War I, World War II, Korea. Our corner was John J. Mullen was the veteran. So it would be him knows the Mullins because we're on that corner.
To kind of understand it, the Mullins were a group of younger guys returning from Vietnam, all saw action.
The Mullins were younger and they were hungry, or they were hijacking trucks. They were selling stuff. How we went there over in Somerville.
We did a little bit of everything. The Colleens did all the organized stuff, and we were kind of a disruptive force in the neighborhood. They didn't like the way we behaved. We weren't taking orders from them or anybody else.
The Colleens were sort of the old school in South Boston, I guess you would say.
They were just two different crews out of South Boston, and they were just bumping up against each other.
They didn't like us, and we didn't like them.
You know, two toughest kids on the block, eventually they're gonna fight, right? Why did the Mullins and the Colleens go along?
A personality conflict between one of our guys, Mickey Dwyer, who was a professional fighter at one point, and Kenny Colleen. They had a fight down the transit, the Triple O was the transit then though, and Kenny bit Mickey's nose off, the front part of it, and shot him 3 times in the arm. And we were in a disco joint.
Did you have your platforms on?
I wouldn't wear them.
Sophisticated strobe and laser light show can make a statue look rhythmic. Nobody will ever know that you're not John Travolta himself.
Big afro, no bell bottoms.
None of that crap. We're sitting at the bar, and ironically, Whitey was there at the end of the bar I was on. And Mickey came in, and he had a broken nose anyhow from being a fighter. So talk like that. Now part of his nose bitten off, and he's bleeding.
How you talk?
And he's fighting, his arm's bleeding, he's shot 3 times. And he's going, and I say, what's he saying? You know? And someone translates that he got his nose bit off, and he shot him 3 times.
He had 3 bullets in him, talking
In
like
his
that.
arm, yeah. And then he goes to Mass General. They never found, I think Kenny was
They
an
put a
animal.
carrot on there or something for later?
No, they rebuilt it all. He got it rebuilt. But
How
that's
tough is he? 3 bullets and just comes in and says, how you doing?
hard work. You
And
know?
a button for a nose.
We went right over to the Triple O's right away, and Whitey ended up in the car with me. And we pull up to the Triple O's. Our guys get out. The Cleans are gone. Me and Whitey look at each other. I said, well, I don't think we'll be talking again. He
Really?
said, no, we won't. Well, Mickey getting his nose bit off, things would spiral downhill into violence. People died on both sides of it. He almost got me one night. I was pulling over in a car. A car pulled up alongside of us. And there was 3 shooters in it. All 3 of them opened up. They didn't hit us. They killed my car. But all they had was glass cuts from going like that. That's one of the first attempts they made on me.
After the Colleens' hit attempt failed, the Mullins would go on the offensive. They wanted revenge, so they tracked down Billy O'Sullivan, and a bunch of the guys, the Mullins, just came up behind him on a Saturday night and just shot him, killed him. With O'Sullivan, the other strong arm in the Killeen gang, now off the board, Whitey's survival instincts kicked in. Whitey knew he was the next one to go. The Mullins were tracking him. Patney was looking for him all over the place. They all were.
Whitey knew that he was outmatched. These were young guys coming back from Vietnam. Whitey knew his number was going to be up. Whitey asked if he could broker a sit-down with Howie Winter, because Whitey knew that Howie was back in Patney at the time in the Mullins gang.
We got together at a place called Chandler's in the South End. We met over there with guaranteed there'd be no treachery. And we just sat there.
I already told you I'm king, so it don't matter. It don't matter what the fuck you do, where you do it at.
Looking for me, and I need somebody to broker a deal to keep me alive.
A meeting between Howie Winter and Patney and Whitey Bulger, and they worked it out. And this is going to end. This is bringing too much heat. And Howie said, I'm never going to go against Patney. He's a fellow Marine. And they shook hands and agreed.
It's very well notated, and I don't give a fuck what you're talking about.
Howie Winter likely saw money.
I mean, you done killed somebody over somebody. I don't give a shit. So did the U.S. Army. Why you gonna fuck all them? Bitch. Why you bullshitting?
Only one loose end that needed to be tied up in order to seal the deal. Donald Killeen. Whitey was obviously a junior partner. He was the one who was coming to the table with a lousy hand, nothing but 2s and 3s. Well, Whitey did have an ace up his sleeve. He knew where to find his now former boss.
No, you can't use shit.
Killeen out in Framingham, where he lived in the suburbs. It was his son.
I don't give a fuck.
And he
And whatever the fuck you think you gonna do with the electric chair, I'ma go this time. I'ma go this time, look at it, straight up, without you touching me and shit. I ain't got to take shit, bitch. What you want to do and shit, bitch?
He had no chance at all, which is what he deserved. No chance at all. He didn't give anyone else a chance.
I don't give a shit, bitch. I didn't shoot. I don't give a shit. I ain't got to take shit. So whatever the fuck you think you want to do and shit, bitch, do it, bitch. Try.
Your worst allergy symptoms, like nasal congestion. Live Claritin Clear.
I'm